Okay, and we're back. We had to do a little technical reboot there, so we're glad to be back. We're learning this all the time, that you could actually take a break, and maybe that's almost like a commercial break. We took a little break here. But at any rate, we are back. We are glad to be here. If you have any questions, 502-599-9722. Just text me your name. I'll phone you right back, and we can have a conversation accordingly. Should I refresh my restream to make sure that it hooks back up?
You can, give it a try.
Yeah, I did that. If something comes up, I'll have it. Another question that has come in, it is, a practitioner was asked to work on a young Amish girl, 11 years old, who had a horse accident. She ended up falling off and getting kicked in the head. She currently has too many metal plates in her forehead area, and she suffers from chronic migraines on a daily basis. Has anyone ever had any type of experience with this? I'd love to help this little girl, but I'm very hesitant at the same time. Well, we've had countless situations where we've worked with people who have had head injuries. Certainly people that have plates and implants, we always want to test to make sure they're comfortable when you're treating them, but the thing to do is to just approach it in that fashion. There should be no reason that you could not give this young lady some energy to her head and upper shoulders and neck to help alleviate that situation. So I treat the back of the head for her migraines, and there should be no issue that you can't treat around the plates. Now, if you want to check with the doctor with regard to what the plates are doing, I mean, if they're just plates because of the damage that was done, then we have a lot of that we deal with. And of course, we're treating people's faces that have had fillings and things like that, and they can feel it in their fillings, so that just means you don't turn it as much. They won't feel it in a plate like that in their head as they're having it. So I would not worry about that. You're supplying good energy. You don't want to over-energize, so just be moderate in your setting as you approach that. But you could certainly help her have some relief potentially from her headaches. I would certainly also treat her feet. There are a lot of folks that do that, and we've noticed that it's kind of a reflexology type of situation, that when you treat their feet, it also helps the whole body and helps to enhance the recovery needed with the migraines and those types of situations. I mean, study now in Colorado with concussions with Dr. Larry Lyons from California, dealing with concussion injuries and how PEMF can be beneficial to the healing of those type situations. So if your question was about the plates, you should be okay. What we typically do is put it on a very moderate setting. If you're treating the head like this, I put maybe the coil over the head on the shoulders and treat in this fashion. Treat it for 2 minutes. Make sure she's comfortable, not feeling anything, and then you would be free to go from there. If you wanted to hold the coil, the butterfly perhaps, or the paddle right back behind the head, you could do that same thing. Since it is headaches, you're probably going to be in that back area. But if you wanted to rest hold the coil here, for example, and come this way to work with this patient, or not patient, but with this person, that you can come there. But again, you just want to make sure everyone is comfortable and everything is okay. Good morning, folks. Janet, Kim, thanks for being with us. Jamie's with us, so we're glad you're here, and we appreciate that very much. 502-599-9722. If you'd like to visit, we'd be happy to give you a call back and have a conversation. And if you call me, we'll enter you for the today's giving away of the swag. All right, let's see. I have a client who would like me to do a full session on her mare. She has strangles and it has opened. Is it safe to do a session, or will cause circulation of the infection? I would treat the mare. I don't know that I would go directly to that area and go. You might want to check with the veterinarian as to where they are on the medication that they're using for the strangles, and you want to, but to improve the overall, to improve the energy and the health of the cells in the body and the blood flow, along with the medication that's being delivered, would certainly lead to potentially enhance the effects of what they are using. And but whether you want, again, treat directly over the area, you might want to just stay away from that a little bit or around it. But again, you want to improve the oxygenation of the body and the overall blood flow to work in concert with the medication or the process that the doctors are using with the horse in that type of situation. Good questions. I appreciate that. 502-599-9722 if you'd like to give me a call, and we'll have a conversation as to whatever it is you might like to discuss. Good morning, Hazel. How are you? Let me drop over here to Hazel. Reminds me that she's on Castbox. And hello, Shanisha on Castbox is with us. So if you have a question, you can certainly put it there, or you can give me a call, or you can put it in the thread on YouTube or on Facebook. If we don't get a lot of questions, won't stay here real long. This is a good one that we have been reaching out just to find, because our practitioners are here in the office are treating a dog with incontinence problem. Been treating a dog for possible incontinence. All testing of urine and bladder was negative, but the dog is peeing in the house, often right after coming back from a walk. We're doing a series of 10 treatments 2 times a week. I've done 7 treatments so far, and they have not seen any improvement. The owners are very realistic, and we're really trying to determine if it's actually incontinence or just a behavioral issue. 9-year-old dog was 9-year-old Dog de Bordeaux that was rescued after an extensive breeding career. So I guess asking is, how has anyone treated canine incontinence? And so there's a lot of comments on that particular conversation. But it's a very good question. If incontinence, if it is a muscular type of incontinence, basically what we're doing is massaging the bladder and massaging the area to try to improve the muscular control that the people have or the animals having in this type of situation. If it's something that is anatomical, if there's a tear or something like that, it's very difficult for us we don't do that. That's not what our stuff does. But if there's not a tear and everything, then you would think that you would get some control in that area. So it's pretty interesting. Perhaps if anyone's had experience there, they might want to call and we can have that conversation. But certainly, if you're going to help a situation after 3 or 4 treatments, you're going to see some improvement if it goes on. And that's a good point. I had someone calling me this week, and we've been talking about a 28-year-old horse that's having severe arthritis in the north. So cold and snow and rain are a real problem for the survival of this horse at this point in time. And so we're trying to know, and she's trying to determine where's the best place to treat, how often should she treat, and what should be done, and is it going to turn around. I asked her to send me some thermographic photography, which she did, and it's very apparent in these photos, in these thermographic photos that she sent me showing the heat, that it's very severe in the neck, concentrated low neck into the shoulders, more so facing the picture, more so in the left shoulder than in the right, but very concentrated on the back of the neck in the wither area. And so she has been treating regularly, seeing some improvement. The horse is able to walk around a little better, get up and down a little easier, but again, we're in the throes in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and so forth of really cold, severe weather that this horse has to deal with when he goes out over the winter time. And so the question that I was presenting to her in this type of situation, if it's an anatomical problem, is there a pinch? Is there a chip? Is there a tear somewhere that is not allowing this inflammation to get a chance to go away? And often when I talk about this, if you're treating, when I was treating actively on a day-to-day basis, if I would have a horse that I would treat 3 or 4 times and no improvement, my line to the customers would be, you need to talk to your vet about what's going on here. Not that this isn't going to help over more applications, but I just don't want you to think that this is going to take care of something for sure when there could be something anatomically going on. Again, a tear, a separation, a fracture, something going on that is not allowing us to the improved blood flow and blood oxygenation to really help the situation. So that's something that you always need to think about in when you're dealing with these types of situations. If you have we got a question here. Can you share any information regarding osteoporosis treatment suggestions? PEMF therapy results for this, etc. I have a friend in her early 40s battling this as a result of more likely due to treatment resulting from breast cancer and other health issues over the years. Well, it's always an issue when you're dealing with those types of situations with the calcium in the body and what's needed for the various areas, the nutrients and the supplements that are available to help enhance the overall system of the body. If in fact it is a result from cancer treatments, chemotherapy, and things that were done that's created a deficiency, what I would recommend, again, it's type of a situation that if you can help their blood flow be improved, help their blood oxygenation be improved, make sure that they're taking the proper supplementation that can potentially benefit the struggle that they're having, that they are taking the right supplements or the right vitamins or the right medications to help that type of situation. Can we be comforting and help ease what's going on? Most certainly from the pain relief and the development of what's going on. It's pretty basic. If we can put this energy, this PEMF energy into the body, making the cellular walls, making the cells healthier, allowing them to better do their job, allowing the blood flow to be enhanced, to go to every place it needs to be with good, healthy blood cells, then we can maybe help those situations improve. We're not going to do it. The body's going to do it. So that's kind of what going on. Let's see. Still having problems? Are we still having problems? Everything okay?
Some people are saying it's cutting out. Some people aren't. Trying to figure it out.
Okay, so thanks, Maureen, for letting us know. Could be, who knows, internet, things are strange how they sometimes happen. 502-599-9722, send me a text, and I'd be happy to give you a shout and have a conversation about whatever it is you might like to discuss. Let me see if there's any other questions here. Okay, let's see. Let's go. See if we got another question. Okay, worked on a mare twice now and will be again coming Saturday. And before I ever MagnaWaved her, she had some issues with her lungs, would drain out her nose sometimes. When I MagnaWave her over her withers and back area, she gets really uncomfortable and starts to drain, and you can hear noise in her lungs too. I don't have it on very high. What would you know would this be caused by? Well, quite often, if there is congestion and you're massaging the area, you can help move that congestion away. There's a lot of people when treating folks who have sinus issues that they'll simply hold a coil to the head and they'll treat the sinuses and they'll get clearance and they'll get drainage almost immediately. So if there is some congestion in the upper lungs and in the chest, throat area that you need to clear, when you treat those areas, you're certainly massaging. You notice as we can feel this as we go into the body, we're certainly massaging the area and working on the area, and yes, that can be beneficial to help clear. And if it is clearing, and again, these are situations that you at some point you want to be asking the vet, this is what's going on, do you see anything, have they done an endoscopy, where are they on what could be the actual cause of this? Is there a cold? Is there an infection, a virus, or something going on that you need to help move this horse through? And the same thing if it were in a small animal or a person, you want to approach it from that type of position. But if there is something there, you can we've had that with folks that have had severe COPD and lung congestion and just can't hardly breathe, and we found again with good blood, good flow, good oxygen, that you can help break that up, help the lungs be able to handle and better facilitate good air that they're breathing, whether they're receiving oxygen at the same time or whatever it may be. And we've treated all those types of situations. And of course, depending on the severity of the situation, how the person is, what kind of relief they get from the pain and the discomfort that they're experiencing. As with many indications and a lot of things we do, the sooner we work on something, the sooner we get a chance to to help something, the better off we are. If you wait a long time and it's had a lot of time to set in and solidify and do its stuff, that's an issue. That would be kind of a situation with arthritis. Some people have arthritis. It's a buildup of calcium. You can see it the way the joints change and things like that. If someone's prone to that, the more rapidly they treat their hands or their knees or ankles, wherever they're having those types of symptoms, you're not going to break up the calcium and make it go away, but improved circulation to the body can help retard or help fight that buildup of calcium in the body, again with good blood flow. So those are always things to consider in that you might want to use. Let's see. Only just on any updates. Oh, John's with me. John, I did update. There was updates on the CE is what John is asking about. I talked with Michael day before yesterday, as a matter of fact, and yesterday was Monday, so it's Friday. Talked to Michael on Friday, and they've acknowledged that they need to do some research and find out where this number is, and believe me, we're not the only ones having this challenge with these regulatory agencies as they change their whole system, is getting to the backlog of what's going on. That's what I have today. I will try to ask that. In fact, I called Michael yesterday afternoon to ask him that specifically and didn't get to him at this point, but I'll give you additional updates as they come. Let's see, my horse is having OCD surgery on his stifle next week. I have a max and wondering when and how best to treat. Well, once the surgery is complete and they've taken care of the situation as they will surgically, you can begin treatments once the bleeding is controlled and everything is stabilized to help enhance the body's healing process so it can better flow to the area and take care of any inflammation and aid in the recovery. So I would wait a day or two after the surgery, or again, once bleeding is in check, work with the veterinarian, and so he understands that you're going to be dealing with blood flow healing, not healing, but blood flow, the ability for the body to heal itself, and to the inflammation reduction to the area of the surgery to make it easier on the animal. Maureen says, keeps cutting off on me. I'm not sure what's going on. Better the last few minutes. Okay, yes, they can come over to Castbox if they want to have a listen over there. If you're having stream problems, it'd be worth a try to see how that may change what's going on.
Working perfect.
Castbox is working fine, so that's a good thing. Thanks for being there. If you'd like to talk to me on Castbox, there's a way for you to send me a phone message. I can turn you on and we can talk that way. I've only done that once, so I want to make sure I do it properly if in fact that's where you're coming from to have a conversation with me. 502-599-9722 to have a conversation with me and be entered to win the gift bag for today. I guess if nobody wins it, I'm going to get it with some new stuff in it to share. All right, what is the dosage of HydroWave in a nebulizer, concentrated or diluted? Thanks. Well, I would presume that you're dealing with Sharon, with a equine nebulizer. And typically, when we've used the Centurion transpirator device, which takes the liquid water, turns it into a gas, and the horses breathe it in, and it goes into their lungs. We're using about a 50-50 concentration of the water and HydroWave. I would think if you're in a standard nebulizer, it's a little different because a nebulizer actually puts droplets into the nostrils that work to the lungs and go in that faction. It's not a gas that's produced with the nebulizer. But I would say that a 50-50 concentration would be fine. If you're working for a specific thing, if there's an infection or something that you're working with and you want to try to get the oxygen into the bloodstream towards the infection, that type of thing, to go a little stronger, you could certainly do that. I don't know that I'd go 100% in that case. I mean, even for a person, the standard dosage is 4 ounces of HydroWave to a gallon of clean, pure water, if you will, purified water, and drinking 8 ounces a day is the typical way. 4 in the morning, 4 in the evening is the normal dosage that's given. Horses don't really need anything different than that. Now, quite often with HydroWave, if someone's got a chronic or an acute thing that comes on, they may take a higher dosage, maybe an ounce in a 16-ounce bottle of water, and consume that. So they're getting heavier concentration because they have a bigger issue that they're approaching. You could do the same thing, just make it a little stronger. But to go more than 50-50, I don't think you would need to do at all in a nebulizer or a transpirator type of application with regard to that. Let's see here. Oh, that's small. Make it go up. New client suffered a traumatic brain injury about 20 years ago. He wants to give PEMF a try so he can at least reduce the medications he is on, if not eliminate them because of the side effects. The area affected is the left frontal lobe. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Well, again, someone has a brain injury and it's damaged the brain 20 years ago. What can we do when we're helping energize and have good blood flow and potential better oxygenation to the body? I can certainly understand. And if he's having pain, if the pain is centered certainly in his head, or if it's kind of referred other places, to treat and to help that situation can certainly potentially bring comfort to the individual, and maybe relieve some of the situations that this person is having. Again, if maybe they'd have gotten to that much earlier, it would be different. But in this case, there's no reason not to help provide this gentleman, this client, if you will, with comfort in the head. Again, you can go direct to the area and treat with the paddle. I would say very low. Comfort is the certain key here, but to do that, or as I've talked about a lot, is put the large loop over the head, rest it on the shoulders, and let the energy come up through the entire head. It's certainly going to energize or nourish with energy that part of the area where the damage occurred. But as you know, it's like an accident. If it was right here, and over the years it has spread like this in terms of the inflammation that's being affected or that's causing the problem with the pain, you want to clear out the whole area of the highway. So that's where this may be very appropriate, or like hold the coil right near where the injury actually occurred. Okay, let's see. Any other questions? Castbox is working fine. Let's see. Sandra, thank you for happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, by the way. It's just amazing when I read a post that came up earlier today that from 10 or 12 years ago when we first were beginning at this time wishing folks a happy Thanksgiving. And as our family grows and our ability to learn and our machines that we have grows, it's just so rewarding to see people find success treating their own animals, find success who taking this as a business, and it truly gives me thanks, and I think gives all of us thanks for. We wish you a happy Thanksgiving and a very happy holiday season ahead. But anyway, Sandra, thanks for happy Thanksgiving. I have a friend that has autoimmune disease. I have a semi-3. I assume this could be advantageous. Any suggestions? I'm fairly new to treating. But again, you need to research a little bit what's bringing this on as far as their understanding and what's the best way to go with it. But for you to use any of the devices actually to be able to make the body be in a more healthy state from the cellular perspective, allowing the body to better absorb the nutrients that they're giving, better facilitate the oxygen in the blood that can work potentially to aid the autoimmune disease situation, repression of that. You want to let the body be in a position to fight that, and quite often people in those states, a lot of stress, a lot of things going on, and that's puts stress on their blood cells, stress on their body, and it becomes an issue. So let's see here. Okay, we do have somebody that wants to talk. Okay, it's Tracy Walker. Let's give a call here. It's coming through. Put it on speaker. see what we get. Tracy. Hello. Where's the speaker? Yep, there you go.
My question was that somebody had asked me that the bone healing with after a break or something like that, how to increase the bone healing. Why would it not also increase or cause muscle, or as you were saying earlier, tears to heal or heal quicker?
So your question is, if it aids in bone healing, will it also aid in tissue healing?
Correct. Other than just increasing the blood flow and overall sense of well-being and inflammation, but we could also do that to muscles or tears or something like that.
Most certainly. If you have now let me be clear, we are not increasing in circulation, we're improving the blood circulation. We're not increasing pressure. But with that said, how does that work on the bone with the cellular development of the bone, the blood flow around the bone, nourishing it so it does, in fact, in many cases, heal more rapidly, heal comfortably for the folks? We're not doing it. It's the machine and the magic, and not the magic, but it's the machine and what it's doing physiologically to the body to allow the body to better heal itself. Now, so if it's going to help the bone healing, it's also going to help tissue. So if there's a tear or a severe strain, now if it's a clean tear and the only thing that's going to solve it is surgery, where they got to go put something back together, understand at that point, then we can help with reducing inflammation, allowing it to be in a better position to heal, hopefully more rapidly, and that type of thing. But if you have a situation, let's say a hyperextension of a tendon or cartilage, or in a muscular type of situation that has caused a lot of inflammation in the fascia down into the muscle, just as this energizes the bone, it's going to energize that tissue. So if I'm answering your question, Stacy, is yes. As you're enhancing that in the body, it will enhance the healing situations in those cases. As a case in point, when I was first moving into one of our offices, I was opening a door, trying to carry something in. I moved my leg to the right to push the door back, and it was rubbing on the concrete, and I hyperextended or tore, we weren't sure, my MCL on the inside of my leg, and it sounded like a baseball bat hitting a ball when I did that. And I went home and treated myself immediately. Didn't have a machine with me at that point in the office because we were just moving. Treated myself twice a day. Used Dr. Dennis's little small unit in between those treatments, and I was able to keep going. I wasn't able to be moving like I was because it was really sore, but I was able to keep going and go. I called my doc and said, I need to come see you. He's on vacation. They said, go to the emergency room. And I said, you know what? I'm doing okay. I'm going to wait 2 weeks for him to come home, and then I'll go see him. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I called him and I said, I think it was pretty serious. I need you to look at it just to make sure that I haven't torn it to the point that it needs surgery or something like that. And I went to see him. He manipulated my knee. He looked at everything, felt around, analyzed, and said, I'm not going to give you an MRI because they're not going to pay for it. You're far enough along, and it's healing fine. You're getting your mobility back. It's going to take you a month or 2 or 3 months for this thing to come back in place and not be a problem. About 2 months, he thought it was going to be 3 for it to get to a point that I was pretty much in control of it for a good period of time. And in injuries, it can take months before you can lay in the bed and let your knee be stressed a little bit or that type of thing. And so to stay with those types of treatments. So Tracy, I would say that yes, it will help not only the bone but the soft tissue at the same time.
Okay. So the reason it came up in my mind was we were sitting there when you were discussing with the incontinence and stuff like that.
Right.
Asked me a question. And so I told them it would probably would work, but it would require a lot of commitment to treatment. So.
Well, it's harder to get great comment there. It's harder to get inflammation out of a nerve or cartilage than it is the soft tissue of the muscle. And because there's cells and cellular and blood nourishment and all that to those areas, but they don't have the oxygen, the blood cell content that your soft tissue does. So it's harder. It also develops slower. That's why in a lot of cases with horses, for example, or even dogs, small animals, that they're fine today and tomorrow they can't walk because it's been building and they've been okay, they've been going, and it builds up to where all of a sudden it's, oh, wow, I can't do that. We have that as humans, but when we do it, we know it. When we strain our hip, we know it and start trying to abate that immediately. A dog won't do that. A horse doesn't do that quite often. They just keep going until all of a sudden they can't go, and all of a sudden tomorrow they're lame, and whatever the situation may be. So the important thing is if you can get on these things early, you're good. But in a nerve situation that's slow to inflame, if it's not a catastrophic type of blow that caused the problem, but certainly the improved blood flow and the oxygenation can help the body deal with those situations.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Send your email to support@MagnaWavePMF.com to be entered in the for the stuff. Okay.
I will do it.
Okay, Tracy. Thank you. Okay. So there's a call from Tracy. Good question, and that's why I like that, because we all of a sudden got into the development of inflammation, how it works, and what you see, and what's going on. Let's see. Oh, autoimmune. That's the last question there. Let me take a quick jump over here to Restream. Hazel's, everything's working fine over there. So any other questions, simply send me a text, 502-599-9722. We've been going for about 40 minutes at this point. If you have questions, I'd be happy to have a look at them. Water on the knee, human. Any success stories, any comments on that type of thing that were asked? So certainly when you have that type of situation where you have water or a buildup of fluid on a particular area, to work the area gives you an opportunity to again help move whatever debris is there, whatever is causing the situation, to help potentially flush the area as you're going through those types of situations, dealing with comfort for folks. Let's see, any other questions? Please send me a text, put it into Facebook or on YouTube, and I'd be happy to have a look and answer them. Take a quick look over here. Good morning, Suzanne. Thank you for joining us this morning. I don't see a lot of other questions coming through, but I'll wait another minute or so. Don't forget, let me quickly go over this. Early registration for MagnaCon. Sign up for MagnaCon before January 1st. You get a discount. I believe it's only $300 for the MagnaCon. I believe after the first year it's going to go up to $400. So if you'd like to participate, you got a chance to get a discount before the first of the year, and those of you who do that will be entered into a drawing to receive complimentary rooms at the event. So we're going to have a drawing for that, so please do that. Tomorrow we start some of our Black Friday stuff, so you might want to watch the pages for that to see what the deals may be and what's going on with Black Friday and what we have to offer in that regard. Let's see, we will also be at the AAEP in Denver, December 8th, 9th, and 10th. So if you're going to be attending that event, the American Association of Equine Practitioners, let us know and come see us, stop by the booth, and so it'll be a good time and good educational situation as well. Okay, let's see. I don't see any other questions. Someone asked the pros and cons of the Soul versus the Julian. Has the semi now. I really think I want to switch to a spark plug machine. Well, the Soul is more along the same power as the semi. They're both less power than the Maya or the Max or the Julian. So the Soul would be about half of the Julian. It kind of depends on what your practice is. to add either one of those to complement what you're doing could certainly be beneficial. There is a difference between digital and spark chamber, which is a question that came up yesterday that I'll kind of look at, but there is a difference there, but what you have to get used to. The biggest challenge we have had is someone who grows up on spark chamber all of a sudden switches over to a digital machine. While it's doing the same thing, working just as well, it feels a little different. The controls are different, so you have to acclimate yourself to that. Some people, as I said, who have grown through the process of the spark chamber machines like that, want that, stay there. If someone starts with a digital and they grow that way and they're happy with it, they stay there. There are applications. There is a little difference in how it feels. Again, the signal from the spark gap machines, the Julian, the Max, are more and the Soul are more pointed at the top, so they're a little more direct as they enter the body. So you'll feel it a little more. I don't want to say, you just feel it, you'll feel the intensity a little more. With the digital devices, the top of the signal before it drops down, and the healing properties, as Dr. Dennis has so aptly and well explained, really take place on the drop or the slew rate of the signal. But on the digital machine, it kind of curves at the top. I kind of compare it to a dull pencil, a number 2 pencil that we used to use in school when it's very sharp. They tip, but when it's a little duller, it gives you a different stroke. It's just softer on entry, and people have a challenge relating to that. Talking about getting a little technical here, sometimes if you're moving the energy level up with a spark gap machine or a spark chamber machine, your comfort level may start to be impacted here because you're feeling it more than you want to, perhaps. But with a digital machine, you can put more energy in more comfortably. And so you could be in a situation that you may not feel it as much, and you may in that type of situation, but you're actually applying more energy with a digital than sometimes you are with a spark chamber, based on comfort of the person receiving or the animal receiving the energy to help supplement their body with what they need with the PEMF energy. So that is a conversation when you talk about digital and spark chamber. But that answers the question I was asked the other day about the difference between digital and spark chamber. The primary difference is digital doesn't have nearly the working parts of the things that can cause a problem down the road, and they can conceivably work forever, whereas a spark chamber machine, the spark chamber can and will probably wear to the point that you would want to change it. But outside of that, there's very little difference other than the way the signal is delivered. It's the same up and down, and it stops, which is called a ringer, and that's where everything comes from in how the particular signals work. Any other questions? Send me a text, 502-599-9722, or post it in Facebook or YouTube. We're still having stream issues, and I apologize for that. We haven't had a situation like this for a long time. We are in a new studio, but everything seems to be working very well as far as our internet. My signal that I'm receiving here is very strong and very good as far as the signal that I am receiving. But we just have to have a look at that sometimes. Could be something going on in the internet system outside of our building that's under work, and it's not allowing the signal to get to where you are as smoothly as we would like it to. So that's where we are. Any questions, simply put them in Facebook, YouTube, Castbox, or give me a call. Appreciate the folks being with us on Castbox. Castbox is a broadcasting platform that's much like a radio station. You can go in there and listen to the broadcast without having to be online or have enough signal strength to where you can see it. You can listen to it on your telephone as you're doing something, and you're not necessarily seeing something. So we appreciate Castbox. You can talk to us through Castbox. You can leave comments on Castbox. So it's a growing type of platform, and we're certainly glad and happy to be there. All right, we'll go another minute or two here and see if we have any questions. That's looking on the Facebook page, the Certified Practitioners Pearl, the silky hen, is a senior citizen, and they're treating this hen inside of the large coil. We know we've treated chickens before. As you know, we've treated eagles that have been severely injured in various situations, and specifically one in Upper Michigan that got its talons caught in a fishing net in freezing temperature and was stuck to the net right at the water on a tree. It was just and they were afraid that they were going to have to amputate the leg or the talon of the eagle, which would be not a good deal and would probably be fatal to the eagle and certainly affect its captivity or its freedom to not be in captivity. And with the treatments of the MagnaWave, and they've since in this rescue, it's a raptor rescue, they have a MagnaWave machine that they're using for their birds and raptors that they're working on and trying to help recover from injuries in the wild and so forth. So a lot of things can happen, a lot of things can be treated. All right, let's see. John, thanks. Everything seems to be working now. Any other questions? Simply put it in the box and I'll answer it. I'll wait another minute to see what may be coming around. Let's see. Portable power station for events. There's a lot of different portable power devices you can use, small electric generator type of things that a motorcycle size of a motorcycle battery will power you for several hours. In an event or in that type of environment. Erin has some chargers that she has worked with and understands and likes. You might call the office, talk to Erin, 502-742-7868, 502-742-7868. Talk to Erin, ask for Erin, and talk to her about, or Teresa, her assistant, and talk to them about various battery packs that are available and what machines they work best with. I powered my Max for years when I was at horse shows and I had my golf cart. I'd put a little plug right into my golf cart, plug the machine into that, and treat away with the batteries on my golf cart all day long. Basically, I'd go from one location to location. If the power was not close by or whatever, I could certainly do it in the field without the external power of the facilities that we are in. All right, so good question with regard to batteries and what you can use with the devices. With that, I don't see any other texts coming in to give a call. Tracy, thanks for calling as you did. And again, I want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. We'll certainly be celebrating as a family, and we want you to celebrate with your family and have a good time. Always, we're here to answer your questions. The office will be closed on Friday, but if you send an email or send a text or a message, we will certainly do our best to get back to you and help you through any conversations or discussions you have. Did you have something?
I was just going to say, just a reminder that even though we're closed on Black Friday, the sale will still be going on online.
Thank you. The Black Friday sale will certainly be going on online. It starts on Thursday and runs through, I believe, Sunday, if I'm remembering correctly. And so all that will be happening. Everything will be working. The product specialists will be available to answer any questions and to help you in that situation if you're going to take advantage of the MagnaWave Black Friday sale and enjoy that. If you're a practitioner, we're soliciting some information from you so we can update it on your to catch the new wave that's coming. To make sure that you've got that information, go to your certified page and fill out the information there so we can make sure that you get the gift bag that's coming to everybody as certified practitioners, introducing the new wave that's coming. I can't say too much, but anyway, that's what's going on. One question here, Amanda asked the question, does MagnaWave help thyroid, swelling in the body, and tired? There have been people that we have treated people with, I forget what they call the disease of the thyroid. I can't remember what it is. But if you treat the area, we are, again, working on the blood flow, working on the body's being as healthy as possible from that state. Certainly, if body swelling in the body and tired, energy, good blood flow, good healthy cells can help inflammation and swelling in the body, which is inflammation, can help relieve the stress or the tired stress that someone is feeling, and have people have pleasing testimonials. Go to the testimonial page, put in thyroid, and you'll see what some people have done. Go to the MagnaWave International Education, MagnaWave PEMF International Education and Research page, and you can, on the left-hand side of the page there, you can put something in that you're searching for. So you can search for PEMF and thyroid. You can go to the AOPP, that's the PEMFprofessionals.com page, PEMFprofessionals.com, and search for studies and search for information that has been done that reflects what has been done with regard to thyroid issues utilizing PEMF. And so there's certainly reason to, again, use this to help energize the area and energize the body. How does one know their need? Can a practitioner do it themselves through your advice? How does the practitioner know if the machine needs to be recalibrated? Well, if the machine needs to be recalibrated, it's operating differently than you're comfortable with. That's a pretty broad statement, but typically what happens sometimes as the electrodes wear is you don't get a low setting. You turn the machine on and it's on, or you turn it on and just barely moving the thing puts out a signal that someone may feel is a bit uncomfortable. You don't have the total to move it up. That's because the electrodes are a little farther apart, so it may need to be calibrated so they can operate the way they should. Here's what happens if you do electrodes and you bring it to where they were at the beginning. You become accustomed to a higher setting that it's giving you because they're a little further apart from wear, and so you can turn it in your mind. It is a little stronger or a little higher setting, but that's a trade. You know, if you want to make sure that you've got the very, very, very low end, and that's where it would show. It would show if you turn the device on and you barely move the knob and it's clicking, it's firing at a level that you may feel someone may be uncomfortable with at the get-go. You don't necessarily want that. You want to have it recalibrated. But if you're content with what it's doing and you're happy with it and you don't know, I wouldn't worry. If everything's working fine, don't, because what happens, someone sends it in, we make some changes and change things, they get it back in a producing a signal like new, and they become used to a different type of signal from age or from just use, and they think, well, it's not doing what I was doing when I sent it in. No, because we replaced and fixed a couple of things, so it's going to operate more in the original normal state. I know that gets a little convoluted as I discuss it, but so if you have a question about your machine, how it's performing, send us a video. Take a video of what the device is doing and record it so we can hear what it is doing. So if you send that to us, send that to Lee at MagnaWavePEMF.com. Lee kind of runs our customer service and front end, and she can listen to that. She'll get it to me or get it to whoever or Aaron, and they can listen to it and watch it and say, yeah, you maybe need to have that spark chamber adjusted, recalibrated, whatever the situation may be. So that's a good way of handling it. Take a video that we can really hear what's going on. You know, we tend to do things quickly. Well, here it is. Turn it on. Turn it off. Let it go for a second so we can really get an opportunity to absorb what you're sending us. But that would be one way to take care of that. I have an employee running an open day for MagnaWave soon. She's using the Semi 3. She's worried people won't feel it working enough to keep using. Any tips for when showing the machine to clients for the first time, and will the Semi be okay running 6 15-minute sessions with a little break in between? Number one, yes, be fine to run sessions. I would give it it gets hot in there, so give it, if you can and you're thinking about it, give it 30 seconds between sessions, or 45 seconds of time to change people. It takes a minute, you're good. You can keep right on going. Where the machines get a little confused is if you're running 10 minutes or whatever the time may be, and it stops beep and it stops beep and you keep it going, you don't give it any chance to kind of refresh itself from the heat standpoint. And if you're in the environment that's hot outside, you could have some situation where a machine says, I'm warm, let me cool off it for a minute, and it'll stop. They all have those safety features to stop if they get too hot. What I would recommend if you're doing that, to do the demonstration with the Semi 3 is to use you could do the large loop over the shoulder on high. They'll feel it. They'll feel that moving because the large loop is moving a larger area of tissue. If you go down to the butterfly, they'll feel it, but they may not feel it as much because we're stimulating less tissue. So it depends what you're trying to show. If you want to show feeling, then I'd use the large loop. I'd use it on the low back, shoulder, someplace like that where you have some tissue. If you put it on the knees where there's not as much tissue there, it's going to penetrate, it's going to put the energy in there, but they're not going to feel it as much because you're limited on how high the device can go. So my suggestion would be in demos, use the large loop, put it on a shoulder, put it on the low back, and let them experience the medium and the high, and you'll have that, and they'll feel that. If you have the large wave wings, and John, I don't recall if you do, but if a person does do that, to use the large wave wings with the Semi 3 on high, and it will help. Again, they're going to feel it, they're going to understand it, and it's not going to be too much that they would be uncomfortable. So that's my suggestion there. Great question, John. Thank you so much. Does the digital machine ever need recalibrated? The Semi seems like its snaps aren't as intense as they used to be. Send us a video. We can take a look at it. Here's what happens in these machines. There are diodes that regulate the conversion from AC to DC as the signal's generated, and those they're very small diodes. And yes, two parts of that question. Does it need to be recalibrated? As a rule, no. However, a lot of soldering, a lot of things go on. Can something become a little loose to where the diode is not doing what it's supposed to do in order to help produce that signal? That can happen on a digital machine. That can happen on a spark chamber machine. You have the diodes, you have the connections. So yes, something can come loose. You also want to make sure that you have the machine operating in the proper sequence of high, medium, or low, medium, and high. Some folks, there's a sequence that they punch on the panels accidentally when they're turning it on or holding a particular button, and they take it out of the program that they're normally accustomed to working in, and there's a factory reset to be able to take it back. It's a computer basically in there to be able to take it back to where it's supposed to be. So there's both of those issues. In the purest sense, digital machine, as long as it remains physically in good shape, does not need to be recalibrated. However, I've had machines that I've dropped off the back of trucks, golf carts, flipped out of my golf cart, pick them up, plug them in, they work just fine. I've had machines that I've dropped, getting ready to put in the car just fine. I've had machines that everything's good for 8 months, and all of a sudden you go down a 3-inch step and you're pulling the machine and there's something in there that's been coming loose for some time, and bingo, it breaks, comes loose, and the machine quits working. That's just the way things go. You run over a nail in the road, need to do something to your tire. So things certainly can happen, and that's something to think about. I hope that helps your question. Okay, Jason's with us. Hey Jason, thanks for joining us. Hope everything's going well with you. We are overtime at this point, so I would really want to thank you for being with me this morning, and we'll be back next Tuesday with the MagnaWave office hours, and we'll have conversation with you at that time. Have a beautiful, blessed, happy Thanksgiving and a beautiful weekend wherever you may be, in the snow or the sun or whatever's going on. Enjoy your day. Wave on for health and wellness, and thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.